Hi everyone, just a quick video on how Team Wild gets its food and how it gets it ready. First of all, we get our whey protein from Protein Works. The rest of our supplements comes from our sponsors, which is Prozis, that's prozis.com. And then also, of course, the main bulk of our food, in fact 99% of it, is real food, and that is mainly the meat coming from our butchers locally or an online web store called Protein Foods Direct. And if you look at the article we've also written, there's a coupon code which you can enter to get 10% off any order. We don't tend to get any of our meat from supermarkets. It tends to have water added, salt added and so on, and it's just not high quality. In terms of our carbohydrates, that is just bought 9 times out of 10 from the likes of Asda, Tesco, Sainsbury's and so on. We buy rice, we buy sweet potatoes, baby potatoes, obviously baked potatoes, quinoa, whatever you want to say it, barley, etc., for our carbs. And for our fats, we tend to stay with coconut oil, rapeseed, or extra virgin olive oil. All, I should say the latter two rather, have high omega-3 content. And of course, coconut oil is great for its MCTs. In terms of cooking the foods, the chicken we always wash, and then we put in a roasting dish that has a foil on the bottom. We'll sprinkle some herbs on top, normally basil and parsley, and then put some foil over the top of the chicken breasts, once obviously in the roasting dish, and once they've obviously been cleaned as well under the tap. And we cook in the oven for about 50 minutes at 180 degrees C. And that cooks them thoroughly. But we don't preheat the oven, we do it from cold, so it cooks all the way through the oven evenly. Any steak that we eat, we pan fry it, dry fry. For myself, I cook it on an extremely high temperature, so I sear the outside, so the inside is still blue. And for you, we cook it at a slightly lower temperature. The pan is on probably 6 or 7 out of 9 on the heat scale. And again, with that, it allows, because it's a slightly lower temperature, it allows the meat to cook more evenly all the way through, or majority of the way through. She tends to have well done or medium. In terms of eggs, or egg whites we tend to stick to, we can either use the likes of eggs boiled in water, and how we do that is we put it into a pan of boiling water, pre-boiled water, and after making sure it is still boiling, put the eggs in that we need, cook them for 3 minutes, and then turn off the heat, put a lid on, and that will give us the boiled eggs. But simply, when you leave the lid on, leave it for about 20 minutes or so, it will continue to cook the eggs through, and it'll actually leave them in a nice hard-boiled state without being overdone or without being underdone. For egg whites, we actually cook them again in a pan, it's medium heat, preheated, measure out the amount that we need, and we pour it into the pan and actually cook it until it's cooked all the way to the top, so there's no liquid egg white uncooked. There is something else we do with the carbs, with egg whites. And what you can do is put the required amount of egg white into a blender, and also then add in your required amount of pre-cooked rice or raw, obviously uncooked, oats straight from the bag. And what you can do is blend them together, and that will allow you to actually create an almost like a pancake-like mixture out of rice or indeed oats. And once it's been blended, pour it into the preheated pan on medium heat, and it will actually cook evenly all the way through and actually give you a pleasing, almost pancake-like food meal to eat. In terms of actually cooking rice and potatoes separately, obviously with rice, what we tend to do is put them in a mixing bowl, glass mixing bowl, add the entire day's worth of rice to it. Personally, I use around about 400 grams a day, so that means I put 400 grams in, and then I pour in enough water to have about 1 or 2 centimetres above the top of the rice, and then I cook on or in the microwave for 20 minutes, and that'll leave the rice nice and fluffy. Bear in mind, I'm not covering it, it's a mixing bowl, rice, water, into the microwave, 20 minutes, and it's cooked and ready for you. You can also do a similar thing in a pan, Again, you put the required amount for the day into the pan, you add in about a centimetre or two above the rice and cook for around 20 minutes with a lid on. But bear in mind, rice can stick, so keep on stirring it in the pan to ensure that it doesn't stick into the pan. Of course, once it's nice and fluffy, it may be a little less than 20 minutes, obviously take off heat and allow it to cool, and then separate into your dishes for the day, into your Tupperware for the day, whatever you may do. For potatoes, again, it's easy. In fact, the majority of potato cooking, all you need to do is put the oven on to 180 degrees and then grab your potato, be it sweet potato, be it baked potato, and on 180 degree heat, put those potatoes in for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and you'll get a nice crispy potato that's cooked all the way through. The trick with potatoes is to cook them slowly, not quickly, so it is something you need to prepare in advance. In terms of fats, we don't cook them, we actually add them to our potatoes, to our rice, once they are cooked. So it actually adds a little bit of flavour and it retains all the goodness from the fats. So we get all the omegas that the fat contains, all the MCTs, for example, from coconut oil. We hope you've actually found this video useful and interesting today, but if you do have any questions on it or anything else that we do, please do ask, and thank you for watching.